Welcome to another In the Mood to Scrap video, presented by Two Peas in a Bucket. My name is Janna Werner and today we're going from fashion to layout. Actually, I got inspired by my favorite TV series, The Big Bang Theory. And if you know the series, the guys that are in it, they wear the most hilarious things I've ever seen. The combinations are just crazy, so I thought I should incorporate this into a layout. So here's my mood board for this week. You see that I have a lot of different patterns and colors, and if you know my work, you know that these colors are absolutely out of my comfort zone. So I thought this was another challenge to create a layout with mustard, purple and red. And I'm also mixing different patterns, but I'm focusing on the colors. Let me show you the scrapbooking page that I am going to create in this video. I have these two absolutely adorable photos. This is the cat of a friend of mine, and I think it's a good idea to use a black and white photo or more than one photo with this color combination, because if you use colored photos it might get too wild in the end. I don't have that much purple in my stash, but I have the twine, which is white and purple. I have the spray, and I also have the papers from Dear Lizzie's Lucky Charm collection, but they are rather, well, blue or slightly purple. As the colors are very bold, I'm using a lot of white space to make sure that the page is still light in the end, because that is the style that I like best when scrapbooking. I don't want it to be too bold, too heavy, and I think the color scheme is rather masculine, so I'm not having that much twine or yarn when stitching. I'm cutting the thread. Usually I leave it long to create this shabby, feminine style. So let's get started. I have a lot of stickers, and some are from Dear Lizzie and some are from Pink Paisley. I have glue and double-sided adhesives, spray, scissor, twine, stems. I'm sorry. I'm also having clips and a few other things that I'm not going to use in the end because they just didn't fit when developing the page. These are tags from October Afternoon Travel Girl and Pebbles. And this is from Basic Grey. It includes transparent labels and some kind of small stuff, transparent, but also in paper. These rectangles are from Dear Lizzie's Lucky Charm collection. As you can see here, I already cut the paper. And when I'm really fond about a page, about paper, then I will most likely buy the collection pack because I just need to have it. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. So the first step is to create the background for the white paper. And I'm layering 3 papers. I have the one with the grid, which will be in the background. On top of that, I'm putting the yellow paper by Studio Calico. And on top of that, the white cardstock. And I cut the white cardstock and the 2 other papers, so the entire page will be 12 by 12 inch in the end. I start layering the papers, and I'm trying out different ways of placing the elements that I'm planning to use on the page. And as you can see, I want to emphasize the top left corner, so I'm bending the edge and adding red paper to it. I wanted to make the rectangles a bit smaller, but I didn't want to use scissors because that would be too clean when I cut it, so I'm using a ruler instead. And when you tear the paper like that, you will have a clean edge, but still slightly distressed, and that's a very nice detail. I am placing the elements horizontally and vertically to add more movement to the page. And I'm also adding a few smaller papers and layer them behind the focus, which is the two photos in the middle. And I want to sew around the white cardstock, and I want to sew down this edge that I'm bending, and to make sure it stays in place, I'm adding a bit of glue, just a little bit, and using my bone folder for a sharp, how you call that? A sharp fold? I hope that's the word. You know what I mean. And again, for sewing the papers, I'm using double-sided adhesive so I can be sure the papers stay in place. And here you can see the thread. I would usually leave it like that, but as I said, to me this page is rather masculine, so I'm cutting the thread and just leave a tiny bit so it still looks playful but not feminine. And then I'm using sprays to add spritzers, and I have the main colors that are also in the mood board, which are mustard, red and purple. And you can just drop them either with the spray tube or with a brush. Just wait a bit until it's dry, or you could also use a paper towel to get off the excess. Now I'm starting to place everything again on top of the white cardstock to find the final placement for each element that I want to use. I have twine and I just want to add a bit of it. And I cut a piece of that twine and wrapped it around the one photo. And instead of using a bow at the end, I just made a knot, because I think that looks even more masculine than adding a bow. Before I adhere the papers, the smaller papers, on top of the white cardstock, I'm adding just a tiny bit of glue so they stay in place when I turn them around to put the double-sided adhesive on it. And I'm gluing down the other elements as well, starting with the bigger papers and then also with the tags and smaller things. I'm not gluing down the photos yet, but I will put them on top of the middle part every time when I add something, because this is like a benchmark for me. And I want to make sure that the twine will stay in place, so I'm just using transparent tape on the back side of the photo. And to let the photos pop out of the page and to add a bit more dimension to it, I'm using dimensional dots. And there are a lot of dimensional dots that you can buy, and they have different heights. After attaching the paper, I am adding the details, and I already added rub-ons and stickers and stamps. And here with this stamp I have this black mark that I did not want to have on my layout. So I'm using a white pen, a gel pen, and this will cover the black mark. It's a trick I'm using quite often. I'm adding the title vertically because that emphasizes the direction of the photos as well and emphasizes the middle part. And the final step is to bend the edges of the white cardstock. This gives more dimension to a page and lets it appear a bit friendlier. And this is the finished page, and you can see how a TV series can influence the way of scrapbooking just by the clothes that the guys were wearing. I came up with a mood board with rather, with a color scheme that I would not usually use, but in the end it was a lot of fun using these colors. And this is my challenge for you this time. Use any element of one of your favorite TV shows and incorporate it in a scrapbooking page or in any other paper crafting project. I hope you had fun with today's In the Mood to Scrap video, and I see you soon. Bye bye.